Hi everyone, Morgan here. So I've talked about hurricane preparedness before, and I have a hurricane checklist down below in addition to a bunch of free downloads and some other very cheap downloads down below in the link in the description that goes to my website. So go download that hurricane checklist and all the other checklists that I have. Hurricane season is upon us, and it is time to get prepared now. And if you're prepared for hurricane season, you can be prepared for a lot of other things, okay? So the very first tip I have is, of course, stock up on food and water. You don't really know how long you might be in your home, so having at least 3 days, honestly, I don't even think 3 days is enough. I think a solid 2 weeks worth of food and water stocked in your home is the absolute minimum that people should have. It's like a good starting point for you, okay? This could be because roads could be blocked by, flooding. It could be blocked by debris. It could be, who knows how long it'll be blocked. So we want to make sure that we don't have to leave our home and we have plenty of food and water for staying at home. All right, tip number 2 is this is going to be kind of during the storm. If you have any windows that could get directly impacted, you may want to board it up a little bit with some boards or cardboard, something that can prevent just a complete shattering. Cardboard, of course, is not going to be as good, but if it's kind of all you can find or afford, that's going to be better than absolutely nothing. Staple, tape it, anything you can in order to secure it on there. In addition, bring in anything from the outdoors that could fly away or could damage your home. Of course, you can't control, nature, but you can control, things that are outdoors. And if you can't bring it inside, at least secure it down the very best that you can. Know your evacuation zone. In a lot of hurricane-prone areas, there will be clearly marked hurricane evacuation zones. However, don't wait to be told to evacuate. A lot of people wait and a lot of people regret it, okay? They never told me to evacuate, right? You don't always have to listen to the media. You can even leave like days before the hurricane even comes if you think you're going to be in a super high risk area. But at the same time, if you leave and then you come back and nothing happened to your home, yay, we can celebrate, right? You made a right choice to leave, regardless whether anything happened or not. So trust your gut, trust your instinct, and leave if you have to leave, okay? Have a fully stocked first aid kit as well as medication. So like I was saying before, if glass shatters or anything happens, let's say you get cut by some glass, you are going to need to, fix that up. But anything else that could happen along the way of being stuck in your home or evacuating or anything like that, you will have a first aid kit that is going to be well stocked. And then proper medications. I do always talk about Jace Medical. They are actually doing a Jace Daily where you can get just like your daily everyday meds that you need. So go check that out, link down below. But Jace Medical antibiotics, in case anything ever happens, you just never know. Antibiotics and other over-the-counter medications are there for just in case, okay? Important documents. So keep important documents in a fire and waterproof bag. I'm showing a picture here on the screen of the ones I like. There's also a link in the description and to the one that I have since I've had that for 4 years now or so. We love it. But have important documents with you, your emergency disaster plan, these kinds of things. I have an entire blog post down below that talks about all the important documents that you're going to want for your important document kit. Make sure you have a battery-operated NOAA weather radio. It could be your ham radio. It could be anything that can get the local NOAA weather radio so that you can keep track of kind of the weather that's going on in your area, right? Make an emergency disaster plan. I have a whole blog post down below on how to make an emergency disaster plan. I also laid out how to make an emergency disaster plan for my YouTube members, so you can subscribe for just $1 a month. For lots of exclusive content. But yeah, make an emergency disaster plan. This will let everybody know in the household what to do, when, evacuation plans, when to evacuate, why, alternate communication, a whole bunch of things. And this will get everything laid out on the table, and then everybody can also go to the evacuation plan and say, hey, this in case of this, and you can also learn to adapt and overcome because you have a foundation of that emergency plan. Consider purchasing a portable generator. This could be one that runs on propane or gas. It could also be one that, like a whole house, diesel generator. This could also be for, like a solar generator. Like maybe you have one or two that are totally powered up, and maybe, you have them just plugged into the wall so that when the power goes out, you can just get them ready to go. If you need to power anything like a CPAP or anything, make sure you have the appropriate amount of power to power those things that you will need. Make sure your car has a full tank of gas. This is especially important because you could be evacuating, and if you decide to evacuate during a time in which everybody else is going to be evacuating as well, you could be idling for a little bit, which of course takes up gas. So make sure you always have at least 3/4, but preferably a full tank. And if you don't have a full tank of gas all the time, have maybe 1 or 2 tanks of gas available nearby. Have it stored so you can pour it in there and go. Before the hurricane happens or as it's happening, I highly recommend getting all of your gear that you may need to evacuate with and put it near the door. So if you want to evacuate with your bug out bags, a 5-gallon bucket worth of food, some extra water, your radios, all these things, you want to evacuate with that stuff, get it near the door so that if and when you have to evacuate, you can just gather it all up and go immediately. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, we got to evacuate now. Let's go gather all that stuff. All that stuff should be easily accessible anyway, but during this time in which you may have to evacuate, put all that stuff near the door so that it is just ready to go. Right now, I actually recommend that everybody does a double check on all their supplies. Get all of your batteries, charged up if you have rechargeable batteries. Get all of your flashlights, here and ready. Make sure that you have plenty of entertainment items. All of your alternative cooking methods in case the lights go out. Get all of that out. Any other books that you may want. You get your checklists out. Again, my free checklists are down below at my website in the description. Just get anything that you may need for, a lights out situation, evacuation, anything like that. Get those headlights out and just have them on your head, and you can just click on, in case the lights go out. Get those radios out and start listening immediately. Make sure you have plenty of batteries, or charging sources for these things. Just make sure that you're ready. Have the candles out and ready to light, right? Have those little propane bottles right next to your Coleman stove with near a ventilated, near a little ventilated window, right? Gather all of this stuff. Make sure you're ready. If you live in a hurricane-prone area, you're probably well ahead of the game. But in case there's ever anybody that needs any additional advice, please reach out to me. Or you can leave your comments down below if you've gone through a hurricane and have any advice for anyone else. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Talk to you later. Bye.